On the morning of his only son's engagement, a billionaire chose to wear a torn uniform, cracked shoes, and a name no one would remember. He stood behind a rusted gate, pretending to be a poor gatekeeper, knowing that by sunset he would either bless a marriage or walk away from his son forever. What happened next would break his heart, heal old wounds, and leave him in tears no amount of money could stop. What if the person with the least power in the room held the greatest secret, and your future depended on how you treated him? Everyone in the city knew the name Rajiv Malhotra, industrial tycoon, real estate giant, a man whose signature could change lives. But no one recognized the frail gatekeeper standing outside the Malhotra estate that morning. His shoulders were bent, his hair grayed with powder, his hands trembling slightly as he gripped the iron gate. To the world, he was just Ramu, the new temporary guard. Rajiv had built his empire from nothing, but he had lost something far more precious along the way: his wife. After her death, his son Arev became his entire world. Arev grew into a kind, intelligent man, but wealth surrounded him like air. Rajiv feared his son would never know if someone loved him, or his fortune. That fear sharpened when Arev announced he wanted to marry Naina. She was beautiful, polished, and came from a modest background. She spoke confidently, dressed elegantly, and Arev adored her. Still, a quiet voice inside Rajiv whispered, "Does she love my son or the life he offers?" So Rajiv decided to test not her wealth but her heart. That morning, Naina arrived early at the estate for a family prayer before the engagement ceremony. She stepped out of her car, irritation already etched on her face as she noticed the gate wasn't open. Rajiv, disguised as Ramu, approached slowly. "Madam," he said softly, lowering his eyes, "please wait a moment, I must check your name." Naina sighed loudly. "Do you know who I am? I'm getting engaged today. Open the gate." Rajiv nodded apologetically and fumbled with a clipboard, pretending to struggle. Guests began arriving behind her. Whispers started. Naina's cheeks burned with embarrassment. "Are you blind?" she snapped. "People like you are always in the way. Hurry up." Rajiv flinched, not in anger but in pain. The words struck deeper than she knew. Still, he opened the gate slowly and stepped aside. Later inside the house, Rajiv continued his role. He carried bags, poured water, cleaned a spill near Naina's feet. When his hand accidentally brushed her shoe, she recoiled. "Disgusting," she muttered. "Don't you have manners?" Arev wasn't there to see it. Rajiv wished he were, but perhaps this truth was meant only for a father's eyes. As the rituals continued, Rajiv sat outside near the servants' quarters, pretending to eat leftover food. Suddenly, Naina walked past, arguing on the phone. "If I marry him, my life is set," she said quietly, but not quietly enough. "I'll never have to worry again." Rajiv's chest tightened. Still, he waited. One moment does not define a soul, he told himself. One day does, but the final test was yet to come. When the truth is revealed, will love stand tall or collapse under the weight of greed? As evening fell, the engagement ceremony began. The hall shimmered with lights, laughter, and luxury. Arev stood proudly beside Naina, unaware of the storm about to break. Rajiv entered last, no longer as Ramu but as himself. Gasps filled the room as the gatekeeper stepped forward, now wearing an elegant suit. His posture straightened, his eyes sharpened. The room fell silent, Naina's smile froze. Rajiv walked slowly toward the stage, his gaze never leaving her face. "Before this engagement proceeds," he said calmly, "I would like to share something." Turned to the guests. "Today you all met a poor gatekeeper. You saw how he was treated. That man was me." Murmurs exploded across the hall. Naina's face drained of color. Rajiv looked at her, not with anger but deep disappointment. "I watched how you spoke to someone you thought had nothing. I heard what you said when you thought no one important was listening." Naina stammered, tears forming. "Sir, I didn't know it was stress." Rajiv raised a hand. "Kindness does not depend on knowing who someone is." Arev stepped forward, confused and hurt. "Father, is this true?" Rajiv nodded. "Son, I wanted to know if the woman you love would respect you even if you had nothing." Naina dropped to her knees. "Please forgive me, I love Arev, I made a mistake." Rajiv closed his eyes. For a moment the hall was silent except for his unsteady breath. Tears rolled down his face, not because he was betrayed but because his greatest fear had come true. Arev looked at Naina for a long moment. Then he helped her up. Love, he said gently, should never look down on anyone, turned to his father. Thank you for protecting me even when it hurt you. Engagement was called off that night, but the story did not end in bitterness. Weeks later, Arev began volunteering at shelters, choosing a quieter life. And one day he met someone new, not impressed by his name but moved by his heart. As for Rajiv, he returned to the gate often, not as a disguise, but as a reminder. A reminder that wealth can build empires, but character builds families. And every time he watched his son smile genuinely again, the tears in his eyes finally felt worth it. True love is revealed not in luxury, but in humility. Treat everyone with kindness, because you never know whose heart you're truly testing.